Three, two.
How dare you!
Mr. Lopez.
Mr. Baker.
How we doing, man? How we doing? We good?
The world has lost its damn mind, Mr. Baker.
The world has I need to get my fire on. Hang on a minute, Scott. I don't feel at home till I get my fire on, you know? An advert on the fire? Why? Why? Hang on. Here we go. Here we go. I'll get it. I'll get it. Oh, getting ready. Getting ready. Nope. Nope. There we go.
See, back in the day, back in the caveman days when people were growing, you know, Kev would have had to go back there and start the fire himself, you know.
I remember growing up, man. It was like daily ritual. You know, we had the coal fire, and I tried as long as I could to kind of play the child card and not get out of cleaning the thing, because as bonny to look at and as nice as a real fire is, it takes a lot of maintenance, dude. It truly does.
It does. Yeah, we have a wood burning stove.
I love wood burners, man.
Makes it nice and cozy in the house. Yeah.
Especially when the world has collectively gone mad, Scott.
Oh man. What the hell is going on with people these days? What the hell is going on with the supposed alternative media these days?
I don't know. I disavow myself and distance myself from anything posing as alternative media. I'm just a guy with a microphone these days, because when I look at what's going on in alternative media, dang, dude, am I glad I kind of get laughed at and ridiculed for being slightly less serious than everyone else and going into topics or are deemed kind of woo. Hey, I'm happy doing what I do. I'll let you other people take part in the feeding frenzy, the madness, the descent down the rabbit hole that goes everywhere. I don't know what's going on, dude.
Do you, the thing is that I don't think these people see the irony in the in like criticizing you for supposedly talking about woo
I've
in these
sold out
like
to the woo, Scott.
yeah, when the shit they're peddling is absolute batshit. It's like, wow, really?
Yeah, it's like I don't know, having a seat kind of. It's almost like the internet's gone mad. The internet's collectively lost its mind. Not even just alternative media. I think it's just the internet. I think this is what happens when you put billions of people into a situation where they've got way too much time on their hands, way too many devices that can hook into the internet, and they've got too much time to think about things.
I've always said for a long time there should be like a test somebody has to take before they're allowed to like access the internet or interact with the internet.
Pilot their brain through the internet. You got to be deemed responsible
yeah,
first.
Like okay, back in the day, right, when not many people had access to the net, most of the people that did have access to the net had at least some common sense. Like they knew how to operate a computer. I don't know. It seemed like the people on the net at least knew what they were doing. And then like with the advent of the smartphone and just like one click, one button access to the net and like giving it to everybody, like this, like then I mean,
But yes,
like
children, here's the matches. Go play. Right?
yeah, like there's a segment of the population that I don't think that they should be allowed to play on the net. They really shouldn't.
Can we go somewhere else? Can we have a new net? Can we like have our own place now? A safe net.
I mean, look, like I said, just a small little questionnaire, a little form that you got to fill out just to show that
Just
you
the
have at
basics,
least
Scott.
some basic common sense, some basic sort of rational thinking, and then hey, you can get online,
But hey, here we are, dude. Here we are. And
here
I
we
tell you
are.
what, we were having a good laugh before the show. If we can carry that kind of humor into what comes next, you're not going to be disappointed. You're really not. Big shout out to everyone here, everyone in the chat room, everyone out there in lurk mode as well. I don't know about you, Scott, but when I go to like live streams, I tend to like just be a lurker. I'm more of a voyeur, so I am.
Yeah. Yes. So am I. I'm probably like the lurking master.
Yeah.
I'm the master lurker.
I even close down the chat sometimes because it kind of distracts me from what you're watching,
Yeah. It just it is what it is. But hey, there's people out there who are really interactive, and that's cool too.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean,
And I have fixed Brian. Yeah, I don't know what was up with him yesterday. I got him tested today. He's all clear. He's good to go. And maybe he just seen some of the stories we're going to be getting into tonight. He was preparing himself because Scott, tonight we're going to be getting into the Space Force, right? And I think I know. Why they're being launched right now. Because yep, there's that thing going on around the world right now, but there's also another export out of Asia that we need to talk about. It's the not so teenage mutant ninja Hornets. Yes, we need to talk about them. And I'm wondering now today, after watching the size of one of these things, if maybe that's what the Space Force has always been about. But we'll get into it. We're gonna see, right? And then, Scotty boy, I have got a splattering, a selection of, well, people do the strangest things. We've got dumbest criminals. We've got funny stories, and I'm sure more will come our way as we go on, because the listeners, the people in the chat room, usually they point us in the direction of anything crazy that might be going on. So please do, if you know of something weird and wonderful and pretty wacky that we haven't spoke about tonight, let us know.
Hey, before we continue, you know what? I'm gonna just throw it out there. I'm going to just go ahead. While everyone's going batshit crazy, I'm gonna go ahead and throw out my own preposterous batshit theory, and we'll see if it gains traction.
Not just bat crap, not bat soup crazy, right? Just bat crap crazy.
Yeah. Yes.
Good man. I'm just making sure we're all safe, and I'll be getting the measuring stick out just to make sure you're at 2 meters away from me. E-distancing, brother. E-distancing.
So here we go. This is it. Trump himself. He's suiting up. See, your thumbnail. He was in a spacesuit.
Yep, that's real, man. That's not photoshopped or anything.
No, absolutely not.
That's the real Hornet as well. That's the Ninja Hornet.
Yeah. Trump himself. He's going into space on the was it X-37B?
Yes, well done. We're getting into that in a moment. Yes.
So Trump is personally boarding the X-37B, and he has a army of genetically modified murder hornets.
Did you just say genetically modified?
Yes. Genetically modified. And so he's heading up into space on the X-37B with a bunch of genetically modified murder hornets, and he is personally going to stop Planet X from entering. And
you've got it, man. Yeah. You've nailed it, dude.
He's gonna have the murder hornets swarm Planet X and just push it out. Push it away.
Trump's mutant ninja hornets versus the Anunnaki.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, dude.
And while he's up there, because he's the master of multitasking, he'll be posting to 8chan.
Of course.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
He'll be posting to 8chan.
Trust his plan. I've got you, man. I'm feeling this, Scott. I'm about to go get the MAGA hat on in a minute, man.
Yeah, keeping everyone updated on the murder hornet Nuburu intervention plan. Kill brackets, all that good stuff.
And every so often warning the deep state that once the murder hornets are done with the Anunnaki, he's coming for them in the swamp. Right.
Yes. See, we've sussed it, man. Now all I need to do is build an entire YouTube channel around this. Ask for
I'll go over to Before It's News. You know how they love Kev Baker show stuff, right? And we'll launch it on there, man. We'll launch it on there. But what we'll do is I'll put on this voice, and you'll say you're like some secret insider from on the actual Hornet One. Maybe that's what he's going to call like the X-37B Hornet One.
Hornet One.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Trumpster flies Hornet One. That's a bit of name of a book, dude. It should. But anyway, we digress. Yeah, me and Scott have been having this kind of day. I tell you, it's lucky we ever hooked up, right? Because of the joys of technology. I don't know what's up with my Skype, but I was feeling an awfully lonely podcaster earlier on. Nobody out of hundreds of contacts, nobody with their little green light on, Scott. And usually, like, people are messaging in the TFR chat, and maybe be 40 messages you've missed in there overnight, or you've sent me something. Occasionally, do you remember that guy, Joe? Remember him? He occasionally drops a line in there. Spooky Andy, Jimmy. Nothing, dude. It was just like crickets. I thought to myself, I had to look out the window, I thought, did Naburu come after all? But did NASA and that dude get it all wrong? Is it here? But no.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, technology been acting kind of funky lately. I had my
Technology bad.
yeah. I had my little technical issues yesterday that I had to work out, but that was kind of self-imposed. I no, but still, you know.
But at least you admit it, Scott. At least you admit it. You're not sitting there saying, "No, I don't know what it was, just dumb technology." You're more of a man to say, "Well, yes, I had been playing
I'm I'm
around."
I'm I'm very privacy oriented, and I try to keep Windows 10 under control because we all know that Windows 10 likes to feed data back to the
It's a
mothership.
bit of an animal.
A bit of an animal. You gotta, and
You got to
I
tame that baby.
I had the restraints on it a little too much, and it was like, no, I'm not accessing your microphone, and I'm not accessing your camera, and I was like, oh, well, better kind of loosen the restraints on it just a tad.
Manarus is going to send us a message. Do you think he's found out what's at the bottom of Oak Island? Don't tell us on air, man. Don't tell us on air. One of those ones. You never know. Never know. So, before we go another hour without getting into anything here, Scott, will we do it? Will we take a look at what the Space Force are doing first of all? Or as I call it, the Space Farce. Now, hey, it's not that I'm having a go at it. It's just that, well, I find it a little bit ridiculous. But we can get into that. And that's why I chose the Donald Trump in the spacesuit kind of theme for the Photoshop, the thumbnail today. Because anytime I hear about him and Mike Pence and this Space Force, I don't know, Scott, I just see them like in the Enterprise. It's all Star Trek, and they've got the. I even had a Donald Trump with the Star Trek gear on, but he looked like such a gimp. In fact, he was almost on the borderline of simp. So he was. It was a lime green kind of number. It was horrible.
Okay, have you seen the cartoon Futurama?
I know what you're on about, but I've never watched it.
Okay. Okay, so for those of you out there who know Futurama, and we're talking about the Space Force and Trump. Trump totally reminds me of Zaf Brannigan from Futurama.
Now I'm gonna have to watch it.
Yeah. You're gonna have to look up who Zaf Brannigan is. He's the ship commander on Futurama, and he's got this he's very misogynistic swagger, and he's even kind of got the hairdo like Trump, so it's kind of funny. Yeah, he's totally Zaf Brannigan.
I'm gonna watch it. You've tempted me into it. But yeah, I came across a story today. No surprise where I came across it. It's our favourite mysterious universe. It says Space Force announces mission on the secret X-37B. And I'm not going to read all of it, but it says just days after releasing its official recruiting, or its first official recruiting video. And yes, folks, yes, I've got it here for us to look at today. The US Space Force announced its next mission, the launch of the secret hardly the secret. Now, what it does might be secret, but it's hardly secret when you've got a picture of it on Mysterious Universe, right, Scott? Mission secret. Not so secret that it exists, so. So, yeah, the launch will be on May 16th from Cape Canaveral, and that is Air Force Station in Florida. And yes, we were wondering the same thing. How will launching an unmanned spacecraft help Space Force recruiting? It's a good question, and I do see that we've got a super chat coming in here, so I'm holding my fingers well crossed that Brian plays the game. Sounding good.
Hello to all you cool people. Let's have some fun. Kevin Scotty, take us to the promised land. Puff puff pass. Brown chicken, brown cow.
How dare you?
Yes, we will take you. I don't know to the promised land, but we'll take you somewhere, right? So it's a good question, though, Scott. I mean, how does an unmanned space vehicle really scream out to men and women, come and join me? Come and be a part of this. Come and launch me.
I mean, even though it's unmanned, I mean, there has to be some people at least monitoring it, or kind of like punching in where it needs to go, or
Look at you sounding like a recruiting video there.
yes,
Punching
exactly.
beyond where
Hey,
man, woman, he, she has gone before.
join the Space Force. Hey, it's like like unmanned drones that the military use. You got to have somebody sitting in a building piloting the thing, right?
Didn't they have somebody before the Space Force, though? I know. I'm just being an ass. I'm being an ass, right?
Yeah.
But it says the X-37B team continues to exemplify the kind of lean, agile, and forward-thinking technology development we need as a nation in the space domain. Each launch represents a significant milestone and advancement in terms of how we build, test, and deploy space capabilities in a rapid and responsive manner. So, US Space Force Chief of Space Operations. Now, that's got to get you laid in a bar. That's got to get you some. You come on, dude.
He's like, hey, I'm the U.S. I'm the U.S. Space Force Chief.
I'm the COSOG. Yeah.
I'm the Chief of Space Operations, baby.
Yeah. They just call me Picard. So it's not Picard. His name is John J. Raymond. Sounds excited about the X-37B launch while revealing as little as possible under the circumstances. And the press release points out that the X-37B had made up an entirely new aircraft there, by the way, is currently the only ship capable of testing new systems in space and returning them to Earth. That may be true, but is it enough to meet the rallying cry to potential Space Forcers in their recruiting video? So yes, we come over here, and now I don't know which one. I take it this is the one here. We'll watch this here. Probably going to be an advert first, folks. You know how it rolls. Yes, always an advert. So we'll come off here a second. Hang on, Scotty. Hang on. There we go. Right, I'll play that. We'll get it. You see, folks, it's worth the wait. I'm sure it's worth the wait. If I click on that advert one more time, Scott, I'm going to scream. Right, here we go. Here we go. This is it. Yeah, here we go. Bring it back. Bring it back. You ready, folks? Now, if this inspires you to greater things, I don't want the blame for it, okay?
Some people look to the stars and ask, what if? Our job is to have an answer. We have to imagine what will be imagined. Plan for what's possible, while it's still impossible. Maybe you weren't put here just to ask the questions. Maybe you were put here to be the answer. Maybe your purpose on this planet isn't on this planet.
Oh, wow. Now, all joking aside, right? All joking aside, dude. I must say, as somebody that was in the military, I must admit, if when I had joined up, there was like a branch of the Space Force that yours truly could have gone into, and I'm sure satellite communications, I dare say that's going to be a thing, not an impossibility. You know, dude, I wouldn't have needed that glossy kind of recruiting video. I'd have been right at the front. Please let me into the Space Force, man. It's got to be the best bit of the military to be in.
Look, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to like want to join the Space Force thinking that they're going to go to space and stuff, but really, you know, what they're looking for is like ground personnel and people to just, you know, do all of the kind of maintenance work and all of that for like setting up the launch pads and running the kind of, you know, like you said, the satcoms and all of that stuff. It's all, you know, they're gonna have a lot of people to, you know, run everything down on the ground. and build all the infrastructure and everything for the Space Force. So I meant that. So more than likely, anybody who's joining the Space Force thinking that they're gonna be
Buck Rogers.
doing battle. Yeah, they're gonna be Buck Rogers, and they're gonna be flying around, and that's probably not the case, right? It's kind of like most of the military stuff, anyways.
Yeah.
A lot of people join the military thinking, "Yeah, I'm gonna be the special forces commando behind the jungle." No, you're just a guy that's probably probably doing
sitting
some
in Norway, playing a PlayStation, getting drunk. Yeah. Partying
you're
too much. Yeah.
you're not even in the in the shit, as they say, and you're just kind of doing like supply chain stuff and
But what happens
whatever.
then, Scott?
But
What happens? Do they shift role then? If we do spot Nibiru or Nibiru or dare I say it, an outside threat, some alien craft, what happens then? Or do they know that they're on their way? You got to think this way, man. You got to think this way. People want it. They want you to think like 720 degrees, Scott. They want you to go round in circles on it, man. Come on.
like I said, my little theory at the beginning there, that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about, man. No, I mean, look, the Space Force thing, obviously, space is a domain that a lot of countries want to have superiority over, right? It's like look, man, with the invention of the aircraft, right? Air superiority became the big thing. Whoever had air superiority had an advantage over the battlefield, right? And obviously, look, the US and Russia and all of that, like the world powers, that's why we have superior air forces. Because we're able to have if you have air superiority, you can decimate anything down on the ground. Your ground forces are nothing if if you can't control everything, anything above you.
Anything
Right.
that once you get the high ground, that's you. If you control space, you're pretty much in control.
So space is now the next layer. If you control space, then even your air superiority doesn't mean anything. And so that's really what all of this Space Force stuff is all about. It's just controlling a new battlefield domain.
Plus a lot of money to the military industrial complex, We're not going liberating many countries these days, so we need to find new novel ways to keep them employed, Scott. Keep the gravy train rolling, keep the money flowing in. There's a part of that to it.
There's only so much you can do with air superiority. I mean, we've kind of, I think, like maxed our capabilities as far as what we can do with aircraft and stuff. I mean, we can do. There's still innovation to be done there, but it's moved on. We've moved on to a new domain, and it's all about countering. Countering enemy satellites, jamming communications, surveillance. That's probably one of the biggest things with Space Force is doing surveillance and counter surveillance as well. Like I said,
I suppose the autonomous weapons as well, isn't it? You got your drones and everything else. You get that satellite network. Yeah, that's pretty much going to cover them, okay?
Yeah, and then you're going to have like low orbit weapon platforms and things like that. We've talked about like the Rod of God stuff.
Thor's hammer.
Thor's hammer, all of, yeah. And a lot of it's going to be like clandestine black project stuff where, it looks like a communication satellite, but is it really a
Makes
communication
you
satellite?
wonder how
Right?
many of those are up there already, eh? You know?
Exactly. Makes you wonder what the X-37B has been, what kind of payloads it's been taking up there, because those are all classified missions, right? And
Yep.
and how many of these supposed communication satellites that these companies like SpaceX and it's not just SpaceX. There's another company as well. There's a couple of different companies that are
The Russians as well. Their space agent, I think it's Rosakot. I can't remember the name of it, but they're always blasting things out of Kazakhstan. The European Space Agency, they've got things going on. Pretty constant. I was even watching like Northrop Grumman at the military-industrial complex kind of mob, but they're launching satellites all the time, Scott. But they've actually got their own place where they launch satellites and rockets,
Yeah. So I mean, there's a lot going on, and like I said, a lot of these launches they're classified. I mean, they've been contracted by the government to launch these payloads, and nobody really knows what these payloads are. And so, but yeah, I mean,
so we're not
that's
going to
really
see them like flying about in saucers soon. Oh, you mean they're not going to like roll out the mothership? Yeah, we've been working on something for the past like 50 years with aliens and underground bases, and voila, something that's like 10 football fields long. And nah, not anytime soon, Scott. Nah, unless it's a hologram, right?
Yes.
But you have to wonder, though, and as a Scotsman, I have to wonder. Gary McKinnon, right? He's just one kind of data point that you could use to make a case that we've had some kind of space force for a while. And I'm not going full blue checking and all of that, right? I would have to imagine that. Well, I'm saying I would have to imagine. That kind of means, well, I do believe that we probably have had other things, Space Force-ish. And when McKinnon seen that whole terrestrial and non-terrestrial transfers and things like that, that certainly hinted towards personnel that were like, just like in the normal Navy, going between ships, you've done your posting, now you're going to a new, well, this is a ship, only it's a ship. Yeah. So I don't know, maybe it's the unveiling of that. I don't know.
It is. I mean, we've had a version of Space Force going on for a long time. This is just kind of the military or the kind of them officially branding it. Space Force has always existed under the Air Force. It was a branch of the Air Force, like Space Command or something like that. But they decided to kind of segment it off into its own little branch because, and if I'm correct, I believe the Space Force is still technically like part of the Air Force or a branch.
They're under Space Command. I was watching a video today, in Space Command, they basically give the orders, and then Space Force, as they call them, are the combatants that then go out and conduct those roles.
It was all branched off or segmented off from what the Air Force. It was originally all under the Air Force's umbrella. But yeah, I mean that's what's going on. Yeah, it's been going on for a while. They've been working on this stuff for a long time. I mean, look, Reagan was doing Star Wars defense system, right? And supposedly that was scrapped, but I don't believe it was ever scrapped. It's just, space has always been a domain that, ever since the space race, right? Everyone has wanted to kind of, weaponize, weaponize.
Everything's weaponized nowadays. Even, do you think the murder hornets are weaponized? Yes, that's right, folks. We're now going to move into a potential foe for the Space Force if these things ever get into orbit. or the Space Force ever come down. They could meet in the middle, right, Scott? But I'm making fun of these things because these things, they scare the life out of me. They truly, truly do.
They're horrific. Like I said, I have a phobia of wasps and hornets to begin with, and these are absolute nightmare fuel.
Oh, big time. And we've got something for you to watch today, Scott, so I do. But this is the latest on them, right? And I know some people haven't heard about these things, but America, we've had murder hornets. Now, I believe they've been there for 12 months. Clyde Lewis was talking about them in the Pacific Northwest. And here we come to the Sun. It says, people worried about murder hornets invasion are slaughtering millions of innocent wasps and bees. So people are mistakenly thinking that wasps and bees are actually murder hornets. And as we're going to find out tonight, there's a big difference here, folks. A real big difference.
Look, people, leave the bees alone. Okay, leave the bees alone. Now, my personal opinion is there is no innocent wasp or hornet. So
that bad, Scott.
Have at it with the wasps and the hornets, but leave the bees alone.
Yeah,
leave
the bees alone. Definitely. We need them, right?
Yeah, and even though I have a phobia of flying, stinging insects, I've come to accept the bees. I like the bees because they're an integral part of our ecosystem.
Plus, the bee will not harm you unless it's really, really threatened. It's a one shot for a bee,
Yeah, and you don't want to come across a killer beehive. And hey, and that's another interesting thing I wondered. So these Asian giant hornets, right? They like to go into beehives and just slaughter all the bees, right? Have these giant Asian hornets ever come across a killer beehive?
Dude, trust me. These things, they attack in 4 waves. These things are highly, highly trained at what they do. So I would imagine, right, if they come across any kind of hive that might be not the kind of thing they want to get messed up with, they ain't going to go there. There's 4 waves of them. You've got an actual platoon of them that sit back and wait for the first wave to go in. And they kind of it's really clever the way it all goes down, dude.
I'm telling you. See? That's what's going on. Trump has
that's what's even more terrifying about them. The fact that they are so, dare I say it, almost conscious in the way that they go about their attacking, right? But it says murder hornets, recently found in Washington state, don't often kill humans. What a statement. Don't often, Scott. So in other words, they have.
And I read about a horrific incident that happened in Japan, though, because they're native to Japan, and there was a hornet nest that was located in a school, and they swarmed into the window, and I think they killed 4 children.
Dang, dude.
Repeatedly stung them. Yeah, not good.
Not good. So it says here, and bug experts have warned that unless you're a beekeeper or a honeybee, there's not much need to worry. And Doug Yanaga of the University of Riverside Entomology Research Museum told the Los Angeles Times that because of the panic surrounding the hornets, beekeepers have been putting traps to catch the killer insects. Look at that thing, man. That's not an insect. That's nearly a bird. That's something you take a shoe to. That shouldn't be flying around anywhere near people, man.
They said that they get so big that people sometimes mistake them for small birds flying by. And I heard they're really loud, too. You can hear them.
I'll tell you what else is loud. And folks, please, there's absolutely no way on earth you should be mistaking this thing here for a wasp or a bee. If you're caught in 2 minds and you think, I wonder, the fact you're even wondering tells you that it's not one of these things. This thing's the size of a small child. That guy's got... I'm telling you, man, that's a big Nephill hand, and that thing's about that size. I'm telling you, Scott, I've seen it on the internet. Do you know what sounds worse than a murder hornet or an Asian mutant ninja hornet? Do you know what sounds worse? Some buffool letting themselves be bit by one. Oh, and we've got it here.
Are
yeah.
you talking about Coyote Peterson?
Yeah.
I love Coyote Peterson, dude.
Anyone who goes about calling himself Coyote Peterson probably deserves to have this happen to him. Although I don't deserve to have it. He actively goes and does it.
You know what? Coyote Peterson, I have dubbed him the American Steve Irwin.
Yeah.
I enjoy his content.
R.I.P. Steve Irwin. What a legend, man.
Absolute legend.
He just epitomizes your typical Australian man.
Just about to say he's the epitome of an Australian.
He just is, man. R.I.P. Steve Irwin. I love you to bits, man. Yeah. Here we go. Let's take a watch of this genius. Yeah, the genius called Coyote, allowing an Asian mutant ninja hornet. I keep going to say turtle. It's not a turtle he's got. It's one of these.
The hornet is actually biting onto the forceps. Actually, I'm going to pin it like this. Okay, I've got it. Perfect hold. That's what we want.
Whoa! Look at that thing, man. Whoa! You ready? Oh, here he goes.
Wow. All right, everyone just take a moment to soak this in.
No, you take a moment, have a bloody word with yourself. Stop calling yourself Coyote, get a real job, and put the insect down. Nobody, your parents aren't proud of you. They didn't raise you to be a man that gets bitten by insects for people's entertainment, but since you are, we'll watch it.
That is an enormous hornet.
That's a freak of nature, Scott.
Look at its abdomen pulsating. And you look at the mandibles, those are used for chomping. I think I may also take a bite during this video as well, which I'm kind of afraid of. And if you zoom in on the legs, you can see that they have these little hooks. They almost look like grappling hooks. And one thing that also scares me, there is the chance it's gonna latch onto my arm and sting more than once.
But you're gonna do it anyway. But you're going to do it anyway.
Coyote's wild, man. He's gotten bit by a bullet ant, what is it? A tarantula hawk down in New Mexico.
I don't even want to know what that is. A name like that, it sounds like a flying spider.
Oh, well, before we continue, let me just fill you in on what a tarantula hawk is.
Oh, this is good. This is good. We're leaving people crawling right now. They're like, just get it over with. Get it over with. Go. No, we'll leave you waiting. Tell me, Scott.
Okay, so down in like New Mexico and areas of the Southwest, like West Texas and stuff like that, there is a wasp called a tarantula hawk. And see, this is why I'm wondering how well these Asian giant hornets are going to be able to, because there's going to be a lot of stiff competition. And it's not just going to roll in and think it's going to run the show, I don't think. So the tarantula hawk, what it does is it takes on tarantulas. It will fight tarantulas, and what it does is it'll fly down, it'll sting a tarantula and incapacitate it, like paralyze it, and then it will plant its larva inside.
Not right, dude. Not right.
It'll plant its larva inside the tarantula.
That's psychopathic, man. Done that as a human, no good. No.
And as the tarantula wakes up and goes back to its burrow, the wasp larva begins to eat it from the inside.
Well, may I just say that there's no love lost with the tarantula. However, no tarantula deserves that unless it's tried scaring me.
Yeah, it's brutal, man. So if a tarantula hawk can take on a tarantula, then I don't know, it might be able to take on one of these murder hornets.
We might actually have some kind of like turf war on our hands soon. Well, I tell you what, when you see this, folks, I'm putting my money on these bad boys every day of the week.
I can't stop my hand from shaking. I haven't been this nervous since the tarantula hawk.
Sure you want to do
No, mate, that's like craziness going through your body right now.
Like he says that too. He's like, I haven't been this nervous since the tarantula hawk. Yeah.
Wouldn't it just be funny if it just like flew down his mouth at that point?
this?
Yeah, there's no turning back now. All right, you guys ready?
Ready if you are.
Unless the guy who's talking has got a big gun. There's plenty turning back. Nobody's sitting there making him do it.
There's a meme floating around about Coyote Peterson's camera guy.
Has he got a big club?
No, the thing is every time Coyote like gets bit and he's like in like excruciating pain, he's always like, "Are you okay?"
Here we go. Oh.
Coyote Peterson, and I'm about to enter the sting zone with the Japanese giant hornet. 1, 2. Here we go. 3. Ah! Oh, the stinger's stuck in my arm. Oh! Ooh.
How bad is it?
Oh man, wave of dizziness really quick. Ah! Oh! Oh, searing pain! Absolute searing pain! There's where the stinger went in right there. Did you?
Millions of years of evolution. We've like lifted off the planet. We've like we're going into space. And this genius decides what I'm gonna do with all of that is I'm just gonna go around the world and get fucking bitten by every kind of animal I can think of.
It was funny because he supposedly retired from getting stung, but
I
honestly
would
not.
imagine you don't have a
Not
long
retired.
career as a. What do you call somebody that gets bitten for a living? I mean, I know a vampire would be the biter, so is he just a victim? Insect victim. Yes, I'm a lifelong insect victim.
Hey, I will say though, Coyote probably has a pretty good like tolerance to like venom or whatever, because he's taken so many stings from so many different he's probably built up a pretty good immunity.
Some pharmaceutical company's gonna buy him. Aye. They're just gonna take his antibody. 16 million subscribers. Is
Yeah,
that
I'm
his
one of-
channel?
Yeah,
I'm
one
gonna
of
have to go to it, folks. We deserve to. That definitely deserves to be
Look,
sub to.
in all fairness to Coyote though, like the Sting videos and stuff, even though they're like the most kind of watched and most popular, he has a lot of content on his channel that doesn't involve him getting stung. You know, like I said, he's like the American Steve Irwin. He really does like. He's all about bringing awareness to protecting animals and
My
all
mother
of that
says
good
he's an expert in victimology. Yeah, it's just yeah.
Well,
Sloth versus. Yeah, I'm gonna have. I think it's quite a good channel. Pretty
Yeah,
cool.
it is.
Pretty cool, man. Pretty cool. But guess what? What if I was to tell you? And I need to hide this for just a second. Hang on, folks. I need to censor something. I need to go all 1984 for a minute. And what if I was to tell you though, Scott, that murder hornets were predicted? What if I was
Were
to tell you
they?
that, dude? What if I was to tell you that? And what if I was to tell you then that it was by that oracle, the almost Nostradamus of cartoons out there? Come on. You know it. You know it. The Simpsons, man. Yep. Simpsons nailed it. Now, they also nailed something else. It's got a word there that we can't show because it's 1984. But it did predict the murder hornets in a 1993 episode. Go figure. It says here, we'll see if it's stretching it or accurate. The Simpsons did predict and murder hornet swarms in a 1993 episode. A former writer for the show jokingly admitted. So Bill Oakley appeared to confirm the popular fan theories in a tweet, writing, "Okay, fine, I guess we did predict 2020. There's a picture there, look. There he is. Old Homer. Yep. There's bugs all around him. Danger, killer bees. Can we really go from killer bees to murder hornets? Can you compare a killer bee to that?
It's a stinging.
It's the
insect.
Simpsons, and it's...
Don't let the minor details get in the way of the woo, Kev.
What do you think's going on there, Scott? We talk about predictive programming and everything else, but how many episodes of The Simpsons are there? If you throw that much crap to a wall, sometimes you find stuff sticks. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it is. There are some episodes. where
There's
it's just
some that you can't deny it. Like,
yeah, like totally, like
the escalator with Trump.
The Trump escalator thing. I mean, that's just like
Even to the person dropping a sign up above them. It's like bizarre.
I don't know. Like, I don't know how. Yeah, is it predictive programming, or is it just one of these things to where?
Are we back to the Akashic record?
I was just about to say that. That's what I was kind of like. We're talking about writers pulling ideas out of the air, right?
They're sitting trying to actively think of something cool and new, but they're not thinking of anything new. They're actually viewing something that's happened. Right?
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
how it's got to be, right?
Mhm. I think that could be an interesting angle to look at maybe they're just, when they're sitting there trying to think of ideas and they're just like pulling stuff out of thin air. Well, what are they actually pulling out of thin air? Are they essentially maybe doing a form of like remote viewing? You know what I mean? Like they're sitting there trying to think of something, and maybe
they don't realize. Yeah.
They don't realize, but they're getting a glimpse of something in the future, and they just think, "Oh, that's a cool idea." Well, let's make a story out of it or a script out of it, and then it ends up occurring.
I get you. They don't know what they're doing, but they're viewing a future event, whereas the remote viewers are given like a blind target. They've got a process they go through to view a future event, but the two of them are going to the same place.
Yes.
Perhaps.
Yeah, they're essentially like remote viewing, but in a different way.
They don't realize they've got absolutely no idea they're doing it.
Yeah, and think about it, right? Script writers or people who come up with ideas, they're already like creative individuals to begin with, right? So like I would kind of put their thought process in the same realm of like inventors and people who are creative in that sort of way. Because let's be honest, to be a script writer for a show like The Simpsons, you've got to constantly be coming up with new ideas, right? I mean, that's like what, probably the longest running series ever, The Simpsons.
Good chance.
And sure, I mean, they've rotated out different script writers and stuff like that. I know, but I mean, some of those people probably worked there for a long, long time, and that's got to be like, you get to a point to where I'm sure a lot of them were like, what can I think of next? I've thought of everything. You know what I mean? Like,
and even if you think of something, doesn't necessarily mean it's going to have that Simpsons kind of feel or fun to it. No, you're right. But for anyone out there who might think, what the hell are Scott and Kev on about escalators and what are the Simpsons? I'll probably need to take this out afterwards, but that's okay. I'll take it out. Check this out, folks.
He arrives on his own chopper. He arrives on his own plane. But this was perhaps Donald Trump's most celebrated arrival, when he escalated himself into the presidential race.
It's the most momentous announcement you can make in your entire career. You're like, I want to come in on an escalator.
Yeah. Hey, only losers walk. Presidents take Stair Force 1.
The escalator's own parody Twitter account tweeted, "The ego has landed using an escalator." Someone added elevator music to the escalator video and made a 10-minute
Here we go,
loop.
folks. Here we go.
Even Homer Simpson rode the escalator behind Trump, whose hair sucked Homer into his scalp. Since Trump announced...
Now, that's not going into the fact. It doesn't look like that's going into the fact there's a weird predictive element to anything, does it?
Yes, because what they don't point out is that episode of The Simpsons occurred way before Trump even did that.
Yep.
You know, so it was like, And of all of the ways that they could have introduced Trump, into that episode or something like that, they chose him coming down an escalator. It just.
There's another one. There's another one there. And I remember covering this story in real life.
First vaccinations this
advert. Yes, choose for that. Blah, blah, blah.
Fact or Fiction is brought to you by America's Finest Carpet.
In tonight.
Okay, so they're going to tell us this is just. They're going to tell us this wasn't predicted, didn't they?
It's Fact or Fiction. We're looking into a picture going around online this month. It claims to show a screenshot of a 2002 episode of The Simpsons that
looks too good to be true, that one, Scott, doesn't it?
If I remember correctly, I believe the Simpsons episode did occur after the Saudi Arabia trip.
eerily mirrors real-life events. It shows Donald Trump touching.
See, they won't go and debunk the other one because it blatantly can't be debunked, right?
Yeah, you can't debunk.
No, you can't debunk something that long ago.
A glowing orb with two Middle Eastern.
Well, we'll leave that then, since it does get debunked and they're using that one. But it does make you wonder how you see some of these things turning up. And again, I know people, and I'm not saying it's wrong, that they actively hide things in movies and stuff like that. But at the same time, I do wonder how many of these, what we call foreshadowing, what we would call predictive programming, how many have come from that mistaken for being a creative thought, yet they're really pulling it from somewhere, man. It could be happening more than we think.
I think it's a combination of both. I think that there is predictive programming, especially in like Hollywood films and movies, stuff like that. There definitely is predictive programming, but I also think that there is an element, especially when it comes to shows like The Simpsons and stuff, of just these writers thinking that they're having some kind of a unique creative thought come into their mind, but it's really just something that they're, like you said, like maybe pulling from the Akashic record, or
weird, isn't it?
Maybe they're kind of unknowingly remotely viewing an event that occurs in the future, and they think of it as kind of a creative thought.
That's weird, dude. That makes you question, where do all your thoughts come from, man? Ooga booga. That's not a nice feeling. But before we move on, the Asian mutant teenage hornets, ninja hornets, what do you make of them? Is this going to be the next big problem, or are they just going to be just 2020, just another one of those things? It's just chalk it up to 2020, man.
Yeah, 2020 is just gone. It's out of control, dude. Look, I think that there's an element of kind of hype around the murder hornet thing, right? Like it just seems like something that the media is like really, really liking to hype up.
Unless that's a really small hand, that deserves to be hyped up.
And look, I mean, yeah, it is a problem. And like I said, I'm the first to admit that no.
Okay. Well, what about that? Well, hang on though. I have got another weird little creepy beastie that has turned up online. Maybe not as bad this time, but still weird. Woman films a weird bug crawling on the street. That's a weird looking thing, right? Doesn't the insect world throw up some really kind of wild designs, and even the color of this thing? So it says Nicole Doctor had been walking her dog in Atlanta, Georgia, when she encountered this peculiar creature. The bizarre insect, which featured a long green body, folded wings, and a number of tentacle-like feelers protruding from its head, was unlike anything she'd seen before. It was squirming around violently, so it immediately captured my attention when I was 6 feet away from it. When I got closer, I noticed ants crawling over its back, probably trying to eat it. Grabbing her phone, she grabbed footage as the creature squirmed around on the concrete. Now, luckily, I'm not going to show you that footage. I don't need to see that. You can get a look at this thing here. I've never seen anything like that before. No idea, dude.
Yeah, I don't know. We have a lot of weird insects here in the U.S., and depending on the region,
what happens if we're going through an area of space where insects are going to, like, become mutant ninja insects? They, like, start thinking up new attack strategies and teaming up with each other. And there's monkeys stealing babies. Did you see that the other day?
What?
A monkey rides up on a motorbike and steals a baby.
No, come on. What?
Oh, hang on, folks. Hang on, folks. I'm going to put on some tunes. I'm going to find this. I need to find this to show Scott. Give me 2 seconds. I will find this. Bear with me, folks.
Very strange video you're about to see here. A viral video. You're gonna have to watch it a couple of times, really. This is a monkey riding a little bicycle, grabbing a toddler, and trying to drag the kid away. The monkey was apparently part of a...
Slow it down a wee bit. What's the thing coming up on the bike?
Very strange video you're about to see here. A viral video. You're gonna have to watch it a couple of times.
Crazy, huh?
What the hell?
Crazy.
It's begun.
It's begun.
Planet of the Apes.
Look, watch that little thing, man. Here he comes, look.
Strange video you're about to see here. A viral video. You're gonna have to watch it a couple of times, really. This is a monkey riding a little bike.
What's going on there, Scott?
You know, I'm not one for animal abuse, but I would have kicked the shit out of that monkey.
What's going on there, man? I mean, come on. Whoa. What the heck? That looked like proper planned and shit. Like, you know, hey, I'm on a mission here, man.
Maybe the monkey was like pissed that he had to ride the bike. You know,
maybe he did. Maybe.
Well, circus sideshow, and then he just said, "Screw it."
Kind of crazy, right? Crazy. Monkey business, man. Monkey business. Talking of monkey business, let's get into some weird and wacky criminals, right? First up, man climbs under a moving big rig filled with wine and begins drinking from the tank.
Say a man jumped on a tanker truck carrying bulk wine. And as it climbed up Highway 99, he climbed underneath, unscrewed a valve, and when the vino gushed out, he started guzzling.
CBS
Legend.
Just along Highway 99 with the video.
Legend, Scott.
On CBS 13.
Here he goes.
This suspect just uncorked what may be the wildest ride of any wine heist ever. The dashcam video from a tanker truck hauling bulk red wine on Highway 99 through
so there you go.
Modesto first shows the suspect.
That is a wine heist like you've never seen before. I don't want to play too much more of it. The Modesta, not to be mistaken with the... you get me. Arrested Gabriel Moreno after he allegedly... Nothing alleged about it. You seen him doing it. Jumped on a moving tanker truck carrying bulk red wine and climbed under its belly to unscrew a valve and drank the wine as the truck travelled up Highway 99. That, I don't know, like, if the guy deserves a medal for, like, doing it. Or, I mean, how did he even come up with that plan? Moving truck. I know what I'm doing. I'm going right underneath that and I'm drinking it.
You know what? I mean, would this give him legendary status in Scotland?
Oh, big time, dude. The guy's never going to have to stick his hand in his pocket for a pint ever again.
See? There you go. Well, then right there. I mean, if it gets the Scottish seal of approval, then yeah, he's a legend.
Here he goes, man. Look at him, look. Yeah. I'm in. Dang, dude. Yeah, so that was him, man. Yeah. Video of the wild ride was recorded on the Cherokee Freight Line's tanker. Moreno allegedly targeted. Isn't that great? Innocent until proven guilty. You gotta love it, right? You gotta love that legal system there. The dash cam video first shows Moreno in a sedan putting his hazard lights on. So he actually pulls it over, man. How cool is that? The truck driver pulls over believing he may have a mechanical problem, only to see that Moreno got out with only his underwear on. So not only did he, like, do this, but he done it with his pants on. Like, just his bockies, man. How cool is that? No shirt, no shoes. He rides on the side of the tanker. The video shows him climb up underneath the truck as it hits the freeway speeds. Pretty cool, pretty good going, I think. What do you think, Scott? Is he gonna be a legend in Kansas?
Yeah.
Is he?
Yeah, that's yeah. He'll definitely legend status.
Yeah. I think we should make him a dual citizen of Scotland. I think he should come over here. Pretty cool going, man.
Go out on a limb here and say that he probably has a little bit of a drinking problem.
Maybe, and I wish I'd gone to this next story right after the monkey, because I think we could add this to our evidence that is now starting to build up that maybe we've got a problem with animals becoming a bit too conscious and maybe just getting a bit leery at humans. Impatient dog learns to blast the car horn when the owner takes too long in the shop. Now, hey, if I had ever blasted on the horn because Anne was taking too long in the shop, it'd have been the last time I ever banged any horn, Scott. She would have came out there and she'd have shooed me in public, man. But this dog, I dare say the dog gets away with such antics. But again, what's with these animals, Scott? I mean, are they like showing a higher degree of like nous? Or are they starting to get a bit more with it? Are they looking around going, here, now that those hairless ones are all indoors and things, anyone fancy taking some of this crap back? I tell you, dude, this is it. This is how it all begins.
I think people are getting stupider and animals are getting smarter.
Yeah.
That's what's happening.
Or are we that stupid that animals just now appear smart? They were always the same as us. We just didn't notice it before because we were like above them and things. Maybe. Could be. But I thought that one was another crazy headline. Now this, not the headline you hear every day. And again, just at a time when we're saying our animals getting smarter and our humans getting stupider. A woman arrested after calling cops to report a fire in her lady garden. Yeah, probably the face of somebody who's just burnt their lady garden off, right? Not a happy camper. So it says an Ohio woman was placed under arrest after reportedly calling 911 to ask for help in extinguishing a fire in her lady garden.
How dare you?
Yep. Miss Morgan, 50, called the cops in Port Clinton at around 10 p.m. Saturday for allegedly false report of her ablaze. So it was, Scott. It really was. Quick question. How do you make a cat sound like a dog? He set it on fire. Woof. Right. Morgan asked the cops in the fire department's hose is working and said, I need somebody to come and put it out with their hose, according to the outlet. Imagine how delighted the fire officers would have been when they raced round to see just what crotch was on fire, eh? Dang, dude. Dang. And it was Slipper. And it was Slipper.
Stop, drop, and roll. Stop, drop, and roll.
I can't do this anymore. The world's gone mad. The police arrived to find Morgan at her friend's house, where she and others had been drinking, residents told the officers. And cops moved to arrest Morgan for false reports. That's a bit... Come on. Surely they could have seen the funny side. No, the cops that bad over there, Scott. They can't even have a bit of a laugh.
Oh, they don't take too kindly to false.
I reckon if this went down in Glasgow, I don't know if she would have ended up in the jail. She would have ended up in a headline, but probably just,
It also depends on the department too. Which police department you're dealing with. Some just worse than others.
Whoa, dude, she only gave up when they threatened to stun gun her.
That's probably when they decided to arrest her and charge her for... They probably were going to be somewhat lenient on her, but when she started getting belligerent with them, and they're like, nah.
And for a joke, she now faces, well, I tell you what, I bet she woke up the next morning, oh, why did I even think about doing that? She faces charges of disrupting public services, making false alarms, resisting arrest, and disorderly conduct. And thankfully, though, no cats were harmed in the making of this story.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm sure when if the fire department was to show up and see that, they were probably like,
no brown chicken, brown cow. No laying hose down on that fire. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. No. And just when you thought people couldn't get any crazier, a mother and a daughter craving because, I mean, out of everything going on in the world right now, right? That's the one thing I want back is my McDonald's. They built a cardboard car, Scott, to go through the drive-thru. Look at that. I know. It says here, these two are putting the car in cardboard. Oh my Lord, that was terrible. A mother and her daughter in Belgium were forced to get creative after learning their local McDonald's was only available for drive-thru customers, as are all McDonald's in Belgium, because of those pesky things that are going on. I just want my big burger, Scotty boy. I make us a car.
Wow, that's a very, very, very Frenchy Belgian accent.
Yeah, I'm there, man. I'm there, dude. I'm there. I've got it on tonight. I didn't go into my Italian guy. The Italian guy's away just now. Oh.
I want a royale with cheese.
A little bit of the snails on top. What is it with them eating snails and things over there, man? Do you think they have like snail burgers? I'd rather some hot wing Hornets. So I would, Scotty boy. Yeah, so there you go. I don't know if would you be ever that desperate to get a McDonald's that you would go to these lengths to try and make yourself up some kind of fake vehicle to try and get yourself some food?
No.
Would you give them food though for trying?
Yeah, I mean, I would give them. I would hook them up because
come on, they tried, you know. And doesn't it discriminate against people without cars? In this day and age of being woke and not discriminating and leaving people out, Scott?
Why am I getting images of the Flintstones?
Yep.
They literally pulled a Fred.
Oh, Flintstones. I don't know why I keep doing this, man. Do French people necessarily juggle?
It's Belgium, Kev. They don't even speak French.
I don't know. Do they speak Flemish over there? I don't know what they do. They eat chocolates and they have the EU. That's about all Belgium's famous for, right?
As I heard somebody say, Belgium is basically where other countries settle their disputes.
Yeah, it's like just a neutral nothing land where you go to The Hague. And they've got all those funny walkie-talkies and earpieces. It doesn't even look like a court.
Even back in war, it's where other countries met on the battlefield to settle disputes.
I tell you what, that's a dodgy place, Belgium. Oh, dodgy place. Now then, moving on. What else do we have over here? I think, Scotty boy, I think that might actually take us to the end of my links that I had. Yeah, there you go. Took us up perfectly to the 90-minute mark as well. But anything else been going on in the land of Scott before we start to wrap things up?
No, just before the show, there was like a bunch of gunshots going on. And I was like, what the hell is going on? But I think they're taking out coyotes in the farmer across the road.
You see, a couple of years ago when you'd told me that, like before I knew you as well as I do now, I'd have been sitting here going, whoa, man, there's like people shooting outside Scott's house and he's just like sitting there kind of calm. But now I know what it's like where you live. And you've explained to me, like July the 4th and things, that it's not unheard of. People just go blowing stuff up,
Yeah. We like our neighbor.
And I'm not knocking it, dude. I would defend your right to be able to do that with my teaspoon teaspoon in the UK.
Our neighbor to the north of us during the 4th of July, they set up like tannerite and shoot it, and tannerite makes a big boom.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. You know who else? Do you know who liked this tannerite? The Tiger King, man. The Tiger.
Yeah.
Have you watched that, dude?
Oh, yeah. I watched it all. I binge watched it all in one night.
I done it over the course of 2 days. Yeah.
You know who else likes their tannerite? The Poopster.
Ah.
Yeah. Of course, just like any good Florida man, he likes his tannerite.
Here comes Lothar. Good man, Lothar. Good man. Yes, indeed. Do you think that's one and the same? Do you think Uncle Bill goes to the lodge, Scott? Or is he above the lodge?
I blame it all on the Freemasons and Bill Gates.
He's now called Bill Gates.
Yes, I like how Brian kind of
warbled it out there.
Oh, also, I think that explains the noise my brother heard, where he thought he heard somebody screaming or
So it wasn't a
Like
ghost. It wasn't something otherworldly. And
I think it was this pack of coyotes that's been running around in the field. So that would make sense. The distant sound.
Not a dog man.
No. It's these damn coyotes that are running around here, and so if our neighbors decide to take them out, then yeah, good. Because we'll take them out too if they get on our property. But definitely have to handle that because there's a lot of people that have chickens and livestock. Yeah, and
Popeye's get right into his chickens now, and man, he's like Mr. Chicken Farmer, and
you've got the Tiger King and
the Chicken King. Whoa, is that
Chicken King, man?
Oh, you're back. Wow, you froze up there, man. And when you freeze up, usually that means my net's gone. But you're back. You're good.
Okay.
So
Okay,
I
cool.
thought everything was gone, Scott. Usually I see my router flashing. It's like disco lights. Oh, Kev, you're off air. Oh, not good as a streamer, man. When you get that hang of death, somebody just freezes up. You think to yourself, oh no, it's all gone wrong.
You don't want to end up looking like a Joe Biden podcast.
No, boom boom. Uncle
did you
Joe.
See that?
I haven't seen it. No, I've seen a lot of stuff doing the rounds about him though. He was trending on Twitter earlier.
Yeah, because I guess he held one of his little virtual town hall or his little whatever he's doing, and it was an absolute just. It was a shit show. It was an absolute. He literally looked like he was on AOL dial-up. He was stuttering that bad, and nobody like on his team, like, decided to check connection quality or decided to pull the plug on it. They just let it continue, and it was so cringy, dude. It was
they
like,
need to pull the plug on politics altogether. They all bore me. They all absolutely bore me to absolute smithereens. Over here, we've got this absolute cretin of some. He's a right squeaky voiced guy, and he keeps on telling us to stay at home, protect the NHS, and save lives. Scott, he's got one eye going that way, one eye going that way. And this guy's trying to tell me what to do to look after myself. Go chase yourself, you absolute lunatic. And he stood there beside Norman Sturgeon.
You've got to listen to your chameleon overlord.
Blah, blah, blah. Count to 10. Sorry, I said that. Sturgeon word. Imagine a fish triggering me.
I was about to say,
Tell you, if you want to make a case for animals becoming more conscious, go and look at her. That's something out of the Planet of the Apes, dude. I tell you, she had a part in that. Half ape. That's for another show altogether. You see, you don't get me into politics, Scott, or I'll just end up,
You love it, Kev. You know you do.
Oh, you know I do. Yeah, I'm the first one there. I've got my rosette on come voting day. I sleep out like for a week waiting to cast my all-important vote because it matters. My vote matters. So does yours, Scott. It changes the world, man.
Man can make a difference.
Yeah, exactly, dude. Exactly. Yes. Oh.
I go to the voting booth. Yeah.
I think we're going to need to find some French ghost stories. I was just walking into the bedroom and I seen a frog, and I thought to myself, "Oh, is it dinner or is it a ghosty frog?"
So some says a UFO looks like a cigar, but I think it looks like a baguette.
Brilliant. The baguette-shaped saucer.
Baguette-shaped saucer.
Oh,
I think
don't,
we're
man.
losing our damn minds, Kev.
Oh, well, listen. Why not? Everyone else has lost their mind, dude.
Yeah, might as well just join. You can't beat them, join them, right?
The world is backcrap crazy, dude. Backcrap crazy. There was some old woman that had, she was in like Harry Potter or something. Her name rhymes with gargoyle. I've no idea who she is, right? She was trending on Twitter earlier on as well. She came out and said, I wish Boris Johnson, when he was in hospital, I wish he just died. Whoa! Whoa, gargoyle, calm yourself down. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, more gargoyle than marmoil. But anyway, folks, we are pretty much out of time, out of content, out of comedy. Anything else we're out of, Scott?
I'm just.
We're just
I don't know,
flabbergasted.
Yeah, I'm flabbergasted.
Yeah.
I'm flabbergasted.
Our gasts are flabbered. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we are. Keep your mind open. Keep looking for the woo, but not to the point where your brain turns to black goo. He does look like the happiest astronaut in the White House, though, doesn't he? Does that not look like it should be a padded jacket he's got on?
It's like when they
I'm like getting his disinfectant ready.
What is it? It's like when they take the kid to the police station and they let him wear the sheriff hat or something like that.
Yeah, man. Yeah, you nailed it. That is it. But folks, I'll be back tomorrow. Similar time, same place. Keep it real. Stay safe. You know what comes next. I'm not gonna go there. I'm out of here, folks.